What's up, guys? Welcome back to VHB Engines. Today's topic is going to be about machining your blocks. I'm going to leave the heads off of that. I'm going to leave well, I guess we can throw the head in there. It doesn't really matter. But everybody assumes that, oh, I'm going to rebuild my engine. I'm going to build a fresh build. Got to take it to the machine shop. Got a deck. Got a bore. Got a hone. All these things. These things are not necessarily true. Now, what a lot of machinists say, what a lot of builders say, it's always a good idea to just bore, so that way you know exactly where the cylinder linings measurements are at, and they're all perfect, they're close to perfect, and all that stuff. Well, first off, I'm not saying it happens a lot or happens frequently or whatever, but it is quite possible still for a machine shop to fuck up the size. You know, machines break, things happen. So even if you go to a machinist and you have them bore over, you still need to double check the cylinders to make sure they are exactly where they're supposed to be at. Now, with that being said, I've said this on a lot of my build videos that talk about the machine shops. You don't have to do it. And personally, my personal opinion is, being that this channel is focused on engine building on the best budget, is I usually buy blown blocks. And those blown blocks I buy are usually anywhere between $50 to $100. $100 being like my max. And that's complete long blocks. I know that people sell bare short blocks for $50, which is a fair price, but not something I'm willing to pay if I can get the complete engine for the same price. But anyway, the whole point is that because the blocks are so cheap, if I'm gonna pay, if I'm gonna spend $200 or $250 for a machine shop to bore, deck, and all that crap, I could buy several more engine blocks with that. So I would just toss the block out, and I've had to do it a couple times. Toss a block out and get another one, and I would rather spend $50 or $80 or $100 on buying a whole nother long block and tearing it down and trying again over versus going to a machinist and paying $200 plus. Now, another thing is the reason why I preach against it to a lot of people, besides the money factor, which is a big thing, is the fact that every time you take material off the deck, and every time you take material out of the cylinders, you're shortening the lifespan of that block. You're shortening the amount of times you're going to be able to get in there and use it, and you're weakening the cylinders every time you do it. Now, I know it's not like, oh my God, I bored over, I can't boost or anything like that. That's not necessarily the case, but you got to remember that if you're going to, especially if you're building for forced induction, you may want to reconsider how far you're going to be pushing or boring over, because there are a lot of blocks running around out there that already had that happen. So if somebody's already bored once and then you're getting it and tearing it down and reboring again, you're double tapping, and you're just making the cylinders that much weaker. And you might not need to. It might not be a necessary thing for you to do. Now, I think that one of the things that what kind of took over there was, a lot of people say it's just a good thing to do. It's just a good thing to do just to be sure. So it kind of seems to me, like, from me thinking on this, what happened with a lot of people doing this is, building engines doesn't have to be overly complicated, but it is a pretty it's a pretty delicate process, delicate thing, and one oversight in a place can detonate or blow up the engine and make it bad. And even if you're doing all the work, you're wasting time going back and doing rework if you're doing warranty work for somebody, or plus, like I've also mentioned before, is once you build a bad engine for somebody, if you're unlucky enough to have that person go talk shit before you can correct it, then it's hard to come back from that. You can build 20 good engines, build one bad one, word gets around, people don't trust you. So for the engine builder's sake of mind, peace of mind, they'll just recommend you to go to the machine shops. That way it can be as clean as possible. It just minimizes that many chances of mistakes. But that almost seems like the same reason why I don't really like to do the blueprinting, because you don't have to blueprint. And I'm going to talk about this eventually, I promise. I've been putting it off for a while now. A couple weeks I've been planning on talking about it. Anyway, not the sidetrack. It seems that you're trying to skip past measuring the block, because if you're boring just in case, then you can just inspect the cylinders and take your measurements. If you don't feel comfortable doing it the way I do, take your measurements and do all your little math and go from there. And you can see from that, your inspection, whether you need to go over or not. And if you don't need to go over, then why do it? Now, I know a lot of things too, especially for people who are new. If they don't get that brand new machine finished, from their cylinders, they get a little nervous, like it's something wrong. Like, you guys have seen plenty of pictures I've posted, and I've seen plenty of videos where after I get a hold of a block, the cylinders look pretty damn fresh again. But there's also, little imperfections you're going to see in there. There's like discoloration from cylinder wear from the rings and stuff like that. There's things that's going to look a little off. But as long as the measurements are fine, you're good. I mean, I've even had cylinder blocks with some decent sized nicks in them that that most people would not ignore, would bore over for them, and still have no problem. Now, I'm not recommending everybody go out there and use a chipped up cylinder. Of course, do that within your discretion. But I'm just saying, even with small things that it might think that you couldn't get by with, you'd be surprised that you could still without the problem. So when I look at the cost effectiveness of the machining process, and I look at the necessity of it, I mean, even if you do need to resize the cylinders, you got to think back on it. Do I really want to spend that much money when I could just get another block? Or if you want to have that super clean machine look, and that's all you're looking for a couple pictures before you assemble the motor, then by all means do so. But I just want to tell you guys and reiterate that you don't have to take a machine, you don't have to take your block or your head to the machine shop every single time you're going to do a build. That does not have to go on your checklist. I had this guy not too long ago send me a build list for, he did a K28-3 swap, and that build list, I think, and he did all the work himself, but everything he bought cost, I think, around like $8,000 for him to make sub 200 horsepower. And it's just like, you don't have to do what everybody tells you have to do. Just do a little research of your own, watch some of my videos, take some input, take what I'm telling you, do your own research, talk to a lot of people, knowledgeable people, have more people who do kind of work like I do, and just bring all your knowledge together, everything that you've collected, and then make your decision there. Don't just impulsively do something because you feel that's what everybody telling you that you need to do. Because a lot of people aren't super knowledgeable. They're just repeating the facts of what they know from what other people have told them. And a lot of times when you ask these people, they couldn't give you a clear answer, or they give you a generic answer that also has been regurgitated by other people. All right, guys. I think that's gonna be it here. Sorry if I did the slow pacing. I'm feeling a little bit fucking cuckoo in the head right now, and it's kind of hard to pull my thoughts together. So sorry if I lagged on there a little bit. Again, as always, if you like the video, you got anything out of it, please leave a thumbs up. That seriously helps the channel while it's still growing, or while it's in its young infancy stages. Comment below if you want. Subscribe if you already haven't. You're gonna see some stuff pop up on one of these sides here for other videos. I'm gonna leave the playlist for my engine assembly, and also for the beginner's guide for turbo guys, or for turbo builds. And also I will leave in the description the links to my social media. If you want to talk to me privately, you can just hit me up there, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Alright, guys, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching. Peace.